Hey everybody, welcome back to Review the Nerds. I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike, and for this episode we're going to be going over our best and worst list for the movies this year. Capping off.
And if you'd like to check out our reviews for those movies, we'll be leaving annotations in the video for you to click on if you want to get our full thoughts on them.
Yeah. And, it's definitely been a rocky year. Lots of nerd stuff coming out, but a lot of them not being up to what we were hoping for.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to be starting out with the bads, huh? Save the goods for last.
Yeah, everyone likes to hear good news last,
Yeah.
End optimistically instead of all pessimistic.
Yeah. And my least favorite nerdy movie of the year was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. For anybody who saw the review, you're probably not surprised by this. If you haven't, go ahead and click that annotation, and I think you'll understand within the first 5 minutes of our review. But yeah, this movie was so disappointing to me. It was one of the most, quite possibly the most anticipated superhero film of all time, because it finally brought Batman and Superman together in one film. And the movie just failed on so many levels. It failed to understand the characters. It failed to have proper understanding of their motivations. It failed to give us a good villain, despite the fact they had a good actor in the role. It just irritated me so much how Zack Snyder's vision was so off and how the studio could not see that things were going in the wrong direction. I could go on and on about how it failed. The plot lines that didn't go anywhere, we weren't understood, and just characters that were there as much as it was cool to see them, Wonder Woman, but they really didn't need to be in the film. I mean, it gets me worried for like Justice League and other movies coming up. But
I was going to say prepare yourself, because he's not done yet.
Oh God, Zack Snyder, man. How did you do 300 so well and do a decent adaptation of Watchmen and yet, just stick to straight adaptations, Zack Snyder. I think you do fine there. But when you throw your own spin on it, yeah, no.
I agree it was disappointing. I don't have the fire, burning in me as hot as it is for you. There is a few moments that I was kind of entertained by, whereas my pick is going to be something that I literally was not entertained by a single thing in it. My worst of the year is Independence Day: Resurgence. There's literally nothing redeeming about the movie. Literally. Like, Batman vs. Superman, there are one or two elements, one or two scenes, you'd be like, that's kind of cool. Nothing in Independence Day: Resurgence. It's just, I barely even remember the movie, honestly. It's like my mind was so, exhausted and bored with it that it literally did not have the energy to retain anything. I just remember a bunch of random stupid stuff, like the alien queen popping out of nowhere, a school bus being caught in the middle of the finale, driving around like a cartoon where those characters are running through doors being chased by the bad guy, Will Smith not being in it, Jeff Goldblum just Goldbluming it. Really unnecessary one-dimensional cardboard cutout characters. Just really forgettable. I wish I could give a more detailed opinion of why it's my least favorite, but honestly, it is because I really don't remember it, because it made no impression.
Yeah, I'll say this, Mike, that when I was going over our list of movies, my worst was between Batman vs. Superman and Independence Day: Resurgence. So you and I are pretty much of a mind on that, because that movie was unbelievably uncreative and boring. It was weird.
Honestly, in Batman vs. Superman, there's more passion connected to that because it's Batman and Superman.
Right.
But I would say that there's moments in that movie that I enjoyed more than Suicide Squad in a lot of ways, to be honest. I mean, Suicide Squad just was a giant music video for 45 minutes with spoon-fed exposition being shoveled down your throat, and Jared Leto just being a cracked-out cokehead version of the Joker.
God, Jared Leto, I thought you were going to be so good, and I don't know what happened with you, dude.
All that being said, I do understand why people enjoy the movie. I mean, it's flashy. It's, colorful. And it's definitely not the worst movie of the year, it's just okay. I was hoping for more.
Yeah, okay.
A worthy one dimension that is not in our finals list for the worst would be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel, Out of the Shadows.
Yeah.
That was another one that was completely just made no impression. Just completely sucked the life out of the franchise. And god damn it, Megan Fox. Go away. But yeah, my top pick is Independence Day: Resurgence, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's a close follow-up. Now, because we want to end this on a brighter note, let's go on to what was good about this year. Let's mention our best, only the best movies in terms of like nerd culture. Obviously, there are other films that are completely worthy of being mentioned as best films of the year. But in terms of nerd, this is what we think.
All right, so my favorite movie, nerdy movie of the year was Captain America: Civil War. This movie had a lot to live up to because Captain America: Winter Soldier was such a massive hit. And you're thinking like, holy crap, I hope the Russo brothers can pull it off and give us another like awesome superhero movie and something that is equal to what Winter Soldier was. And in my opinion, they totally succeeded. They learned from the mistakes of Age of Ultron, in which that movie had its biggest problem was it was cluttered and they were trying to give all the heroes an equal amount. Civil War knows which heroes to highlight the most and which ones to have just enough to give you some investment in them. Minimal investment, but enough. And the action was great, the special effects were great. The story was pretty good for the most part. Minor problems here and there, but still very enjoyable. You understood where Cap was coming from, you understood where Tony was coming from. And at the end of the day, it leaves a lot of questions open as to what's going to be for the future of the Avengers and the heroes of the Marvel Universe in general. I just thought it was a very successful film, and one that I can enjoy watching over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on Civil War. The only reason I'm not going to mention that one is because you mentioned it, so, just for the sake of variety, I want to mention a different one. Really solid movie. I definitely enjoyed it. But then, moving on to mine, I decided to go with Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, which I just, really, really geeked out over this movie. True, it has some faults. I feel like the characters could have used maybe a little more development, a little more fleshing out. But in general, it's really enjoyable. I mean, the action was fantastic, and just all of the, homages and Easter eggs that are just everywhere. That Darth Vader scene alone has got to be the best minute of, cinema this year, maybe. The reaction I had to that was just absolute joy. I felt like a kid again. It's a perfect, in-between story. Like, they honored what came before, and, it totally leads into what comes after. It does what so many movies these days fail to do with timelines and going back and stuff like that. It completely fits in. It respects continuity. And I really, these days where movies could care less about continuity, it's really appreciated. And I thought that they just did a really good job. And I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with these standalones from here on out. So that is my top pick. But we've had some good nerdy ones this year too. I mean, ones that we didn't mention, Fantastic Beasts, I thought was very enjoyable. Doctor Strange was very enjoyable.
Oh, Doctor Strange, yeah, that was a damn good movie. Few too many jokes in the film, but otherwise just solid film, especially with those visuals. Oh my god, those visuals. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch just being Benedict Cumberbatch, being the great actor that he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Deadpool. I mean, it's almost a year ago.
Deadpool this year?
Deadpool was this year, yeah.
Oh,
it seems so long ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's been a long-ass year.
Well, that's definitely a worthy mention.
Yeah,
I mean,
Deadpool. Oh my god, Ryan Reynolds finally doing this character that people have been wanting to do for years, pulling it off, getting that sequel locked down. Oh god.
Yeah.
Another quick honorable mention of good movies this year I want to throw in there is Star Trek Beyond. This movie didn't do well at the box office, but it was actually really good. And as Simon Pegg said, who he was the head writer on it, it really felt like a Star Trek film. I mean, it still had...
Well, as close as they've been able to get with these new ones.
Yeah, it still got the vibes of this current franchise, but it was a lot more closer feeling... It still had some of that classic Star Trek feel into it. I did have problems with the villain. The villain's motivations were confusing, but everything else about the film was really good. Special effects were good. Everybody was acting, at their best. The story was pretty interesting. Chris Pine's Kirk felt more like the Kirk we knew. It still is this new franchise and all that stuff, but it's really just enough of that classic Star Trek feel to take it to another level. And I really enjoyed it, and I feel kind of bad that it didn't do as well as it did, because once again, it was a solid film.
Yeah, I mean, I did a video specifically addressing that it should be doing better called Save Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, always have been. I don't know why it didn't really strike a chord with audiences, but let's just hope that the next one does. It would be a shame to see Star Trek go back into a dormant state again.
Yeah, we have to hope that Star Trek Discovery, the TV series coming up, does better to help kick things up a bit.
Anyway, so since we've mentioned a whole bunch of movies, let's once again reiterate our, worst and best.
Yeah.
Your worst?
Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Mine is Independence Day Resurgence. Your best?
My best, Captain America Civil War.
My best, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So, lots of movies to decide from this year, but that's what we came down to.
Yeah.
And let's hope that 2017 offers us a more consistent year in quality, leaning towards impressive.
Yeah.
Let's everything be good this year.
What movie are you most looking forward to this upcoming year?
It's just hard being a huge, nerd to not have it be Star Wars. I mean, it's really hard. I know there's other movies coming out that I should be excited about, and I am, but it's just Star Wars is at the very core and essence of what it is to be a nerd. It's hard not to be excited, especially since Mark Hamill's returning as Luke Skywalker.
Right.
So I gotta say, and also Carrie Fisher, her swan song, sadly.
I think what I'm looking forward to this year, it's definitely Star Wars.
It's hard for it not to be.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I really, enjoyed the first one. It was a really great film. The trailers that we've gotten so far make it look like it'd be really cool. We're bringing a few new characters, but it's mostly going to be the old cast in a whole new situation. And just these characters are just awesome. They're really great characters. Well, anyway, please tell us what you guys are thinking down in the comments. We'd like to hear from you. Comment back. Do a little chit-chat down there. If there's any nerdy movies this year that came out that you thought were awesome or you thought sucked, please let us know down in the comments. And of course, if you liked the video, click like. And if you really like this, click that subscribe button. But until next time, I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike.
And this has been Review the Nerds.
Oh, and Happy New Year, all you nerds out there.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, guys. I hope 2017 is an awesomely nerdy year for you.